Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, the Bronson Sky Library. So today I thought I would do a discussion video talking about comparing books to other books, or just comparing stories to other stories in general, and disliking a story solely because it's like another story. And the reason why I want to discuss this is because it's just been on my mind for a few weeks now, because I was reminded of me reacting to one-star reviews on the TV show Wednesday, and a lot of those reviews, the one stars, were saying that they absolutely hated Wednesday because it was a complete ripoff of Harry Potter, and that is the only reason why they didn't like Wednesday is because they felt like it was a ripoff. And so I wanted to talk about it because, I just felt like that's kind of a dumb reason to dislike something. I feel like it's not a dumb reason to dislike something, but I feel like it's a dumb reason to dislike something just for that. Because, if you think about it, stories come from other stories. We're still doing Shakespeare stories, we're still doing Greek tragedy stories, we're still doing Lord of the Rings stories. Tolkien created this world, and it inspired billions of people to create stories that were very similar to Lord of the Rings. And so I think it's I think it's kind of dumb, or I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to say dumb, but I think it's a weird reason to dislike something just because it's like something else. I don't think that there are a lot of ripoffs going on in the world. Yeah, there are stories that are complete ripoffs of other things, but for the majority, I feel like stories are just mostly inspired by. I don't think they're complete ripoffs. And so, for example, I dislike Red Rising, and a lot of the reason why I dislike Red Rising is because when I read it, it felt a lot like Ender's Game and Hunger Games. And I loved the Hunger Games series. I thought those books were brilliant, but I did not like Ender's Game. And so when I read Red Rising, I wasn't really liking how similar it was to Ender's Game and how similar it was especially to the Hunger Games. I just felt like it was so similar and I couldn't get past it. But that's not the only reason why I dislike Red Rising. Another reason why I dislike Red Rising is because it was my first time, or one of my first times, listening to the audiobook, or listening to an audiobook, grammar. So yeah, it was my first time listening to any audiobook ever. Well, I listened to something else, but anyway, okay, the point is, it was one of the first times listening, and I had a hard time focusing on the book. I think a part of me was just, I was trying to learn how to listen to an audiobook because I never really listened to an audiobook before, so it was kind of hard trying to figure out. That learning curve was kind of hard, and so it wasn't allowing me to enjoy the book as much as I could have. And then also, I just wasn't really caring for the character himself, Darrow. I just had a hard time with him, and I wasn't connecting to any of the side characters, probably because I didn't really know them since I had a hard time focusing while listening to the book. And so there's a lot of reasons why I disliked Red Rising, and it's not just because I thought it was a ripoff of Hunger Games, because I don't think it was necessarily a ripoff of Hunger Games or Ender's Game. I just felt like it was very similar to it. But when I read those one-star reviews for Wednesday, they literally said, okay, maybe not literally said, but they basically said that they disliked Wednesday solely because it was a ripoff of Harry Potter. And granted, yes, I will give them that. It was very similar to Harry Potter because because I know that there have been people who have taken shots from Wednesday and taken shots from the Harry Potter movies and compared the shots, and they're exactly the same shots, just with obviously different characters. But so like I'll give them that. Like it is very similar in shot design and in like the characters, like the idea of having people in like magical creatures or like magical and like weird kind of like people like in an academic environment in a school. That's in Wednesday, and also in Harry Potter where they have wizards at a school. And so like that aspect is very similar. Like yes, I 100% understand that Wednesday and Harry Potter are very similar, but I don't think that Wednesday was a complete ripoff of Harry Potter, and I don't think that people should just dislike Wednesday because of that alone. Because honestly, like, I know some people didn't like Wednesday because it was a little too juvenile for them, which is fine. But that's another reason to dislike something. I don't know. And maybe you guys might not feel the same. Maybe like you feel like, oh, I think it's fine to dislike something solely because it's a ripoff of something else. But like I just like you can disagree with me all you want. Like I just feel like if you so like for example, see, I'm stumbling on words and stuff. Anyway, so, like, I just feel like if you like Lord of the Rings and then you find another story that is very similar to Lord of the Rings, like, why wouldn't you like that story? Like, you like Lord of the Rings, why don't you like this story? And because, like, it's similar, that's all? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just not making sense because now I'm thinking, now that I'm talking, like, I liked Hunger Games, but I didn't like Red Rising because it was very, very similar. But also, I didn't like Ender's Game, and it was also very similar to Ender's Game. But, like, I felt like yeah, maybe I'm not making sense now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe people can dislike something solely because they think it's, like, a ripoff. But, like, there's a difference between going back to what I was saying, there's a difference between, like, a ripoff and inspired by. So, like, honestly, Harry Potter. I feel like a lot of the stuff from Harry Potter was inspired by Lord of the Rings. I really do, because we have the one ring that makes it, if you, like, have the one ring like around you, like on your person, it makes you crazy. It makes you angry and grr, and you know, like Frodo is not the same guy from the beginning of the story. He's not like this happy hobbit anymore. He's like this angry, insane little hobbit. And in Harry Potter, we have the Horcruxes, and yes, there's 7 of them, not just one, and there's multiple rings too. Multiple rings, but there is the, like, one ring to rule them all or whatever. But anyway, so there's Horcruxes, and if you're around a Horcrux, it makes you all crazy and grr and angry and mad, like, you know, and in the 7th Harry Potter, they have to go and find these Horcruxes and destroy them, and in Lord of the Rings, Frodo has to take the ring to Mordor and destroy the ring. And then there's also, like, what are other similarities in Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings? The protagonist, Harry Potter and Frodo, they're pretty similar. like, they're honestly pretty similar, because they're kind of like the chosen one. Because in Lord of the Rings, Frodo is like, I will take the ring, you know? And so he basically chose himself to be the person that takes the ring and stuff. So, and honestly, he was like the only one who could, because like Boromir was going all crazy because of the ring, and I'm pretty sure like all of the other characters might have been able to, like, Frodo was like basically one of the only ones who could. Sam probably could, but anyway, all of the hobbits could, because they're hobbits and they're great. But I don't know where I'm going with this. No, I do know where. But yeah, so anyway, Frodo is the chosen one. Harry Potter is the chosen one because what's his face, the one who shall not be named, Voldemort, he basically chose Harry. He chose Harry to be the chosen one, because it could have been Neville and it could have been Harry, but because Voldemort thought like, oh, it's gonna be Harry, and so he went after Harry instead of Neville, he ended up choosing Harry as the chosen one. So, similarities. A lot of similarities. A lot of things are inspired by Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, but it's not a complete ripoff, and I don't dislike Harry Potter because of those similarities. I dislike Harry Potter for other reasons, like the books. I dislike the books for other reasons. I love the movies, but anyway, so like those examples, or yeah, yes, I don't exactly know where I'm going with this now. Maybe I should have had an end in sight. But for me, I just feel like, because like stories come from other stories, so there's going to be a lot of similarities in all different kinds of stories. So I just feel like disliking Wednesday or disliking Red Rising just because of this like similarity is kind of weird, and like a sort of dumb way to, like, sort of dumb reason to dislike something. Anyway, I don't know. Give me your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think it's okay to dislike something just because, like, do you think it's okay, let me rephrase, do you think it's okay to dislike something solely on the fact that it is very similar to another story? And I'm not talking about rip-offs, because I think that's a completely different idea. Like, because there are some stories that are complete rip-offs of something else. And I think when you look at those, like, complete rip-offs, yes, I think you should dislike something because it's, like, a complete rip-off of that. Because, like, again, rip-offs and inspired by is just some, like, they're different things. Because, like, I can take, if I wanted to write a story, if I wanted to write Mistborn, and then I, like, had a character that was exactly like Vin, and she had a mentor exactly like Kelsier, and they were, like, they had, like, there's this magic system, only one, like, there's people that can only have one side of the magic, but then, like, there are people who have this, like, all of the magic, like, that would be, and I had, like, a heist story, that would definitely be a ripoff of Mistborn, and it would definitely, like, you wouldn't like it because it is a complete ripoff, but, like, I don't think Wednesday was a complete ripoff of Harry Potter. I don't think Red Rising was a complete ripoff of Hunger Games or Ender's Game, even though it was very similar to, at least to me. And I don't think that Harry Potter is a complete ripoff of Lord of the Rings. They're just inspired by these stories, and they have similarities. And so I think, again, just disliking something solely on the fact that it's similar is just weird. And I have basically been saying the same thing over and over and over again, but that's just what I do, especially when I don't write a script for the video. Like, honestly, I just started talking. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are, what you guys think. Are there stories that you dislike because they're similar to another story? Tell me why you disliked that book or something. I don't know, just add to the discussion, I guess. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye!